This is episode 2 on season 1 of the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Hero. Now this is Thor's character. This episode is all about Thor and his history with his family. It revolves around. It's called Thor the Mighty. That's the title of the episode. And so Thor goes back to Asgard after fighting supervillains in Earth and at Earth and saving and showing and sort of flirting with Jane Foster and falling in love with her sort of slowly. He sort of shows that he has sort of feelings for her because she's so fearless and beautiful and not afraid of danger. Thor is summoned back to Asgard, so he returns to Asgard because Asgard is attacked by Loki and the Frost Giants. Thor wins, but now without taking some serious hits. And I like how it balances out. It really highlights Thor being a badass, but not being too much of a badass to the point he feels invincible. You know, he seems to be, but I think by that I mean, I'm not saying to make him pathetic and weak like Superman season 1. I'm saying the gift from his, and he does take beatings, but I love how it doesn't really affect him at all. He just shakes it off like it was nothing. And as continuing kicking ass, he takes down frustrating. Then he goes one-on-one with his brother Loki. He refuses to fight his brother, and then his brother forces Thor's hand, and then brings him to Odin, where he is to be trial for his actions, and he is banished to this realm where it's all black and white, and he can't even hear his own voice or any sound. I forget what it's called, whatever that's called, so anyway, the Enchantress and, the Enchantress and this, I forget what the other guy's name was. This other person, frees, Loki from that realm, and turns out all of this whole episode was part of Loki's plan. Even his battle with the villains on Earth, Midgard is referred to the Asgardians, and the whole losing the battle against Thor was all part of his diabolical plan and to trick Thor and to let him off his guard. So Thor travels back to Midgard and tells his father he can shove his bull crap where it belongs, basically. And then he's right through his act and stuff, and says that Earth is needed, and they're facing armies, they're facing people, they're facing creatures like no other that are just as dangerous, maybe more, that Asgard has fought in. So he chooses Earth in the meantime. And he sees that Earth sees him more than Asgard right now. He says he will always return to Asgard when it's necessary, but for now, he chooses Earth as his protection to protect. So he sees this girl screaming for help, and it's the Enchantress disguised as a villain to trick Thor into thinking that there's trouble when there is not, and we'll know what the trouble really. I guess we'll know what and we'll it also it ends with his whole relationship with his father and other Asgardians being kind of torn apart by Loki's schemes and Thor's ego, and believing he is more needed on Earth, which he kind of is for the moment. But that doesn't mean he's not as neat as one ass guy. Based off how the story ends in this episode, this isn't as long as the episode as the last one I reviewed, because there's not as much story as the episode 1 had. So, yeah, this is a really good story. I really like this. So, Thor is convinced that he is the only one that can protect Earth. And while Iron Man's on the same page, he's convinced that he's the only one that can protect Earth and can be the hero. So, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. This episode. And, called Thor the Mighty. Episode 2 of Season 1 it is. The Avengers vs. Mightiest Heroes it is. So yeah, I definitely say it's worth checking out. Episode 2 is. Personally, I enjoy these episodes more, seeing them in order. You can't watch them out of order, but technically we still follow along. But it just feels more, you feel like you're getting more rewarded for entertainment value if you watched all of them in order. There's 2 seasons that only lasted, that of the Avengers vs. Mighty Heroes only lasted 2 seasons and there's 26 episodes of 2 seasons. And I'm going to talk about the theme song. This theme song is really epic. I think this is my favorite theme song besides my favorite comic book song based off comic books. It goes, a world's about to break. I've been standing on my own, but now I'm not alone. Avengers, assemble. Oh, assemble, we are strong. We never come undone. Forever fight as one. Avengers, assemble. She's kind of telling the story of what this shows it's kind of telling the story of the Avengers, where the Avengers were and where they came from, and how far they come, and that they're stronger together than separated. I mean, when they're separated, they're like nothing compared to an army of supervillains. But together, the army of supervillains is nothing compared to the Avengers when they're together. No matter how strong or how tall or big the Avengers, whatever the Avengers fought against, they are basically invisible together, whereas alone they are pretty much nothing. Even though they're as high as they fight and as strong as they can, punches they can deliver, so they're still not enough on their own. But together, they're unstoppable, is basically what the song is saying. And I really love the song. I give the song a 10 out of 10. The song is played in every episode of the 2 seasons of the run of the show. And it's pretty epic. And it kicked ass. It's like the most ass-kicking song I ever heard. The band who does this, I gotta give credit to the band who did this. I looked it up. This is the band that does. The song's called "Forever Fight as One," and the band who made the theme song for the show, who performs it, and that he's up tapping his. It's like this little so distracting. Okay. So the band who made it and performed it for the actual show, I love how they actually feel like they sound like they actually read the comic books. I don't know for sure if they have, or for a fact or not, or the fact that they didn't. But I love how they actually sound like they're into it, into this comic book shit of the Avengers comics, of Marvel comics. This sounds so epic. It's like, when you just like for example, I never really liked DC's AC/DC's Iron Man song. I mean, I thought it was fine. It just didn't sound like Iron Man when you listen to the lyrics. Has he lost his mind? Is he evil? Is he blind? Nobody likes him. It's basically telling Iron Man that when you listen to this, it's basically saying Iron Man's more of a terrorist and is really a terrorist at heart and not a hero. Sounds a lot negative. Yeah, I hear like Dad told me a little years back that in the early 2000s that the person who wrote the song that was banned in AC/DC was a big fan of the Iron Man comics, but when I hear the lyrics, I wonder, has he ever read the Iron Man comics? Because this doesn't sound anything like a hero. And there's nothing to wrote about. There's all this. It's like glorifying terrorism. Is what the lyrics are saying. And saying Iron Man is our hero because he's a terrorist. Is basically what it's saying. Listen to the lyrics. There's a baffling choices for a song called Iron Man performed by AC/DC. And for some reason, they decided to play that song over the trailer for the first 3 Iron Man movies. And play at the end credits of the first Iron Man movie. It's just, why? It's like, when you hear these lyrics and you really pay attention to them, this sounds like almost the person hates Iron Man. So yeah, I just want to talk on that for a second. So yeah, the reason why I bring this up because now when you listen to the lyric, when I tell you the lyrics of the Forever Fighters 1 performed by Bad City, which I guess I never really heard of them, knew about them until this song, and they seem very talented, and I like how it sounds like they actually make out the Avengers sound like actual legit heroes. And like the world needs them, and they need each other. This is what the song sounds like it's saying. And it's basically, and it says like that they're lost when they were all alone, but now they're not alone when they're the Avengers, and they're not lost anymore. So yeah, I give the Iron Man AC/DC song a 1 out of 10. Mostly, I would give it a 0 out of 10, but man, it has such a good guitar. It has such good guitar work. It has a really funky beat to it, like it just kicks ass. It sounds like what I liked about I would say the beat and guitar work and the music, not the lyrics, sounds 100% like pure Marvel comic Iron Man. Like this is a badass, but then when you listen to lyrics, these don't really fit. Like they would fit more in the theme song to Darth Vader than Iron Man, or maybe a Hitler song. If you just say nobody likes, he is Adolf Hitler, blah, blah, and then you just keep the rest the same. It would just, or like he is Darth Vader, or any person who commits terrorism and is good at it. It's, you know. And now, for Forever Fighters 1, the theme song to Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, performed by Bad City, I give that a solid 10 out of 10. And I gave episode 2 of season 1 of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes a 10 out of 10, I think. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this episode and the theme song to the show. I meant to talk about it in my first review on the show, but I guess it kind of slipped my mind because I was just so caught up in the moment of because I got to review something that is Avengers adaptation that I love 100% because it feels 100% authentic and faithful to the source material. You know, it takes this minor adjustments and the stories because you have to keep in mind each story that they tell is like at least 20 minutes long. So there's going to be bound to be changes. But they keep what unlike the movies, they make it feel like the Avengers, each one of the Avengers feel like the genuine article, and when they're together, it feels so good. It's so funny, so fun, so refreshing compared to other team-ups in comics, and it feels like such a blast, and personal and epic and all that other good stuff. It feels like the power of friendship of the Avengers I know and love. It feels like they actually care about each other. And want to work, and even though they disagree with each other, they always will come together. So it feels like that they always got each other's back, you know? And that's what I liked about this whole Avenger concept, and why I love the show so much, and why I love the comics, you know? This is everything what I wanted in it, what I want every Avengers movie to be like, including the animated ones that I have praised so much, because okay, my problems with the two anime movies that are called Ultimate Ones and Ultimate Avengers 2 and Ultimate Avengers the movie is that there's only problem it's just two I have problems is that Hulk is not used as a hero, but just more as something to go up against the Avengers, and I don't know. I guess I'm not a fan. I mean, I know that's faithful to the Ultimate Comics Hulk, but I'm not really a fan of Ultimate Comics. I don't hate him. I just think he's not as interesting or as compelling as a character, or as strong as a character, and as interesting as a relatable and as a beautiful character as classic Hulk from the original Avengers run. And they use that Avengers more often in comics than the one in the Ultimate comics called Ultimates. And instead of calling them the Avengers, they call them the Ultimates. You know, yeah, that's just all I'm going to say for this video, okay? Bye.